My friends, we offer a starkly different version and vision of this country, a vision of a better America that's within our reach, that's within our hands, if we just vote.
And there it is, unfortunately. While Biden has been quite strong, the White House social media team this week has been strong, and they've accomplished things. They're worthy of praise. Again, just focusing on just vote, we've heard that before, and everybody hearing it understands that they need to vote. They know that they need to vote. They've been voting. And in fact, in the past, they voted for things that Biden is now going to imply you kind of have to vote again for. But listen to this.
If we elect 2 more senators, we keep the House and Democrats, we're gonna get a lot of unfinished business we're gonna get done. Folks, look, we'll codify Roe v. Wade. We'll ban assault weapons. We'll protect Social Security and Medicare. We'll pass universal pre-K. We'll restore the child care tax credit. We'll protect voting rights. We'll pass election reform and make sure no one ever has the opportunity to steal an election again.
So obviously all of those are good things, incredibly popular things, but the Democrats are in power right now. And sure, several of those Democrats are Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema. That's clearly what he's referencing. Although, even in like fully powered up Dark Brandon mode, he's still not gonna name their names, you'll notice. And so he would say that's why we need the 2 more votes. That's fine, and I'm sure great, universal lovers of Joe Biden will say that that makes perfect sense. But they do have to grapple with the idea that, once you've taken Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin, those pieces off the board, then what about Tester or whoever the next most right-wing Democrat is? It might be that they would just play ball, that they wouldn't feel like, well, now it's my turn to be shadow president, but that's a hell of a bet, a hell of a gamble to make. Why wouldn't they then use that new position the exact same way that Manchin and Sinema did? To water things down, to hamstring the agenda, to make things take way longer than they need to, and have everything be fought on their terms. It's possible that won't happen, even if the Democrats expand the majority in the Senate. But that, I think, actually deserves an argument. Has he been talking to these so-called centrists? Have they given him assurances that they won't stand in his way the way these other 2 so-called moderates have? What do you think?
Yeah, so first of all, look, I said earlier in the show, I like the speech overall, so I want to give you context, right? And he was much more energetic and made the case for Democrats better. But it's our job to deliver the news to you. And so we're gonna be unflinching in that. I don't believe him. What the mainstream media does is gaslight us all. And they pretend as if things didn't already happen, right? So the Democrats, first of all, for the last 40 years have been promising things and then turning around when they're in power, not when they're in the minority, but when they're in the majority and when they have all of government, then they turn around and go, I mean, of course we're gonna do all those promises. We can do 5% of one of the promises, right? And then the media all go, pretend as if that's the only thing they ever said. And then they call it historic and they say amazing, and they forget about all the old promises. In fact, then they turn around and yell at us and go, you can't actually believe their old promises. That's ridiculous. They have to negotiate. Don't you guys know how this works? So then which one is it? Are they gonna do all those things if they have 2 more senators, or are they not? And if history is any guide, there's no way they're gonna do it. They're not gonna do it with 2 more senators or 4 more senators. And it's not conspiratorial, guys, other than the wide open conspiracy right in front of everybody that lobbyists go and bribe these politicians. So what's gonna happen? Naturally, if the Democrats have 52 senators, well then as John pointed out, what they're gonna do is they're gonna go, all the lobbyists in the world are gonna go bribe John Tester more and Chris Coons more and Mark Warner more and all these other conservative corporate Democrats. They're gonna bribe until they flip 2 more senators or 4 more senators. And that's gonna work every time because the whole system is built on bribes. So here, I'll do the list real quick. He said, codify Roe. Well, that's only if you get rid of the filibuster. But remember, the filibuster protects all the economic goodies that the Chamber of Commerce doesn't want them to vote on. So there goes voting rights, there goes Roe v. Wade. And then they'll say, well, there was nothing we could do. We don't have 60 senators. Then why are you promising it on the campaign if you're not going to actually do it? Make up your mind. Which one is it? Child tax credit? No way. No, the Chamber of Commerce hated that. The donors hated it. And Americans loved it. There's no way that the American voter beats the donors. You can give them 8 more senators and they won't do it. That's my guess, okay? Universal pre-K is so easy. They should at least do that. But I'm not sure they could do the bare minimum. Ban assault weapons, I would be shocked. And protect Social Security and Medicare, they'll get a kind of on that one. So they won't, I don't think they'll deduct anything from it, although Biden has threatened that before. But hey, Nancy Pelosi just killed a Democratic bill that would have added 2% in a time where it's people desperately need that extra 2% with the inflation. And Pelosi's like, no, we were lying the whole time. We're not gonna help you on Social Security and Medicare.
And it's not to say that if you expand the majority that nothing will happen or that more won't happen than will if it stays 50-50. I mean, look, we're pragmatic. When Biden was clearly the candidate and it looked like that's our only bet, we told you don't expect anything revolutionary, nothing crazy is gonna happen. He's not gonna suddenly become Bernie just because he's running a little bit more progressive. But we also never told you that it doesn't matter who becomes president or that it would be better if Trump were president. The last month or so should be a great reminder of that. Not only for the victories, where Trump was definitely not going to eliminate $10,000 to $20,000 of student loan debt. He wasn't gonna pass the IRA. He wouldn't have even necessarily passed the bipartisan infrastructure bill. You wouldn't have gotten that extra aid last year, and you would definitely have at least a 7-2 Supreme Court at this point. So yes, good things can happen. We are realistic about that. Expanding the majority increases the odds that more good things happen. But let's also be realistic about the future as well as the present. They're not suddenly going to eliminate the filibuster for literally every one of our fantasies just because they win a couple of seats. If they do, great, we'll all party, we can pop some bottles and stuff, but it's probably not gonna happen.
Yeah, look, I would love to eat my words. I'll eat them right here on air, okay? And it'll be a happy day of my life. They passed all of them. They passed $15 minimum wage, voting rights, all these things that were bare minimums. And but if they get 2-4 more senators and then they pass them, those words are gonna be delicious. And I'm gonna tell you I was wrong and I'm gonna be thrilled to be wrong. And John is absolutely right. So there's a lot of people that are pundits or talk show hosts that love to pretend the world is black and white, okay? So if you don't think Joe Biden's gonna deliver on most of the things he's saying, then obviously you should vote for Mussolini. No, that's not remotely obvious. Or you should vote for Snuffleupagus so you can show Biden. I mean, then Mussolini will win, but it's okay. You showed Biden, you weren't duped, right? No, I'm not gonna vote for a lifelong criminal monster like Donald Trump. Anyone telling you they're the same is definitely lying to you. And they're lying to you probably very, very, very likely for a financial purpose, okay? So, and one thing that Biden said in this speech that was very true is he said, look, 81 million of you came out and you saved democracy. That's definitely true. And so, yeah, by the way, by the end, when he did the student debt relief, instead of 5%, he kind of gave us 10%, which is twice as good as most Democrats. So that's damning with faint praise. But I'll give you one last analogy. It's like you're telling me, don't vote for Michael Scott. You know, he's not the most sophisticated office manager. That's true, but what's the alternative? If the alternative is Hannibal Lecter, I'm thinking Michael Scott's not so bad.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.